My name is Pam Nelson, and this is Weekly Wake Up. This week's video, we're going to be coming down on the mat, lying on our front bodies, doing some work to activate the spinal muscles, create length to the front body, and gives a good stretch for the shoulders, the arms. So I brought a bolster onto my mat. I have a blanket to make it a little bit softer. We will be using a chair and then possibly some blocks. If you're a little bit tighter in the shoulders, you might also need a belt. Okay. So we'll start behind the bolster, coming down. Just resting the shins on the bolster, the toes tucked under. You can sit on the heels. If that's not good for the knees, you can always place another blanket between the back of the knees. Okay. We'll just stay here for a few moments, again opening up the bottoms of the feet, stretching the toes. We can bring the palms together, interlace the fingers, extend the palms forward, coming back, and just repeat that. So we change the interlace of the fingers each time. And then this next time, as you interlace the fingers, inhale and stretch the arms up as you try and sit the sitting bones down any amount more. Really feel the lower abdomen scoop back towards the spine. The front lower ribs move in. We reach up. We'll repeat that, change the interlace. So as the arms extend upward, feel the front false ribs move in. The abdomen soft, so you're not tensing your organs, those vital organs at all. Elongate the spine, and then we'll come back. From here, we'll slide the knees down towards the floor. You might separate the feet a little bit. You can catch the knees, kind of clear that skin around the knees. So now your sitting bones might be right on your bolster. You could, again, add a little bit of height if you feel you need. Another blanket or block if that's too much on the knees or tops of the feet. So the feet are up higher than the knees. From here, we'll extend the arms, inhale and reach up. And again, we don't want to fall into the back, these false ribs poking forward. Because we'll be laying down on our abdomen, we want to get that feeling already of bringing the front ribs in and elongating up. We exhale and bring the arms back down. We'll stretch now the arms behind. So here, if you feel that you're finding it really hard, the arms going quite far out, you could hold a belt. It can sometimes help keep the hands in a little bit more narrow. So you want to roll the shoulder bones back and stretch the arms back. You could bring also a loop into the belt and catch the thumbs in that loop to help stretch. And again, we don't want to just fall into the neck, into the back, but move those front ribs in, roll the shoulder bones back, stretch, elongate the arms from the shoulder to the elbow, elbow to the wrist, and then to the fingers. You have to really move the front body back, the lower abdomen up and back, tailbone down, and then we'll release. You've held the belt, just remove that for right now. And now we're going to kind of rotate the arms from the upper arm bone in the shoulder socket. And now when we bring the arms back, we'll turn, keep rotating the arms. Okay, getting just a different feeling in the shoulder and upper back. But keep trying to stretch, giving as much space here between the back armpit and your arm. So it's not just kind of low down. Try to not let the arm touch the side body. And then we can release the arms just by the feet. Press into the feet if you can. Roll the shoulders back. Let the eyes be parallel to the floor. Soften the eyes, the throat, the jaw. From here, as we release, we'll come forward. Okay. Hands and knees, we'll stretch one leg back and then the other. We're going to be coming down onto our abdomen. And I actually want the top of the legs a little bit to come up on the bolster. So however that's easiest for you to come down, you might be able to come down from the knees, or you might need to land the abdomen first and then extend the legs back. So we don't necessarily want to be right on the kneecap. We want to be a little bit more at the top of the thighs. So I'm kind of moving back a little bit to get to that top of the thigh. And really rolling this inner leg out. We want to open up the front groin here. Often when people lie down, if they're a little bit tighter in the hip, there's a big space here. We want to try to really minimize that space by deflating the top of the thigh to the foot. Okay? So we don't want this thigh muscle to bunch up towards the hip. We want it to move away. So by coming and bringing the thighs up, we get a bit more stretch and opening to that front groin. Okay. Sorry, if that's too intense on your back, you could use something lower than the bolster, like maybe just one folded blanket or towel. It doesn't have to be the height of this bolster. So when you come down, you might now begin to feel those front lower ribs poking into the floor. So then you need to lift up a little bit, right? Bring those front ribs in just as we did when we were kneeling. Feel more on the belly, kind of that soft abdomen part. And we're going to extend the arms. So I have the chair, bringing the hands onto that lower rung of the chair. Could also be blocks. Extending, stretching, not just from this armpit here, but from the side body, elongate. Lift one leg and lengthen back. Okay, back and back. So we're stretching. You can press the hands down a little bit. Move the tailbone under and feel that length come from the base of the spine. Move the shoulders away from the ears. Extend through the tops of the feet. Really watch that the legs aren't rolling out to pinch the lower back and the buttock. Okay, so we want to be right on the top of the thighs, so this back inner leg rolls around, and then you extend from that top thigh. We'll exhale, release down, just fold the forearms, rest the forehead. Again, here, see that you're more on the breastbone than on the false ribs at the base of the breastbone. So you may need to lift up a little bit. Extend the legs, so start to re-engage the legs. And you may lift one leg and then the other to extend. Begin to move the tailbone under. Bring the hands this time to the floor. You can go back to the chair. That's better for you, otherwise to the floor. Move the tailbone under beyond that abdomen, so not on the breastbone or lower ribs, but on the abdomen. Lifting up, extending. Move the shoulders away from the ears so they're not hiked up. Let the spine lengthen, the chest open, stretch the legs. Legs can be together if that's all right on your back, otherwise let the legs come a little bit apart. And then we'll exhale and release. Now from here, you might back up a little bit more onto that bolster, getting closer to the top of the thighs onto the bolster. If that's all right on your back. Again, that's too much, then go to a lower support. We want to keep, again, the abdomen more on the floor. I've started to bend the knees, and we'll see if we can reach the arms back. So I'm not quite going for the ankles yet, but just reaching, lengthening, extending the arms, just like we did when we were kneeling. We don't want to drop the shoulders. We want to roll the shoulders back. Press the top of the thigh down into that bolster. Start to activate the hamstrings, that mid buttock moving down. Roll the shoulder bones, extend the arms. Lift from the base of the sternum up. And then we can release. So now we'll try this without the bolster. Okay, so we can kind of slide down off the bolster, maybe roll to the side, and then we'll move blanket or bolster to the side. We'll come back down onto the mat. Okay. So now really feel that length to the top of the leg, openness to the front groin, extend through the tops of the feet. One leg and then the other. Okay. Really getting that length. Can bring the arms forward onto your chair, elongate. So really bunching up the skin, stretch and lengthen. Here you can let the head release down, or you might want to rest your forehead on a little bit of a block. We want to create that length first. Length to the muscles, the skin, and then feel the muscle move into the bone. Move the tailbone under, and just like when we were kneeling, the lower abdomen moves up and back towards the spine. Maintaining that length and firmness to the legs. You could even bring the hands to the floor and lift up a little bit. So you're going and pausing at a point that is good for you. This is as far as you can go, you stop there, okay? If having the head down lower, looking up is better for your back, then you stop where you need to. You can come up and lift, okay? And then I'm going to bend one knee, reach back for the top of the foot or ankle, the other arm. So the shoulders really have to roll back, lengthen to the top of the legs, right? To keep that length more on that abdomen, the soft part of the abdomen. And as you start to lift the thighs up, right? Just like we did before to get that length, lift the top of the thigh up. The hands holding the ankles help to lift the chest any amount more. The skin of the upper back away from the neck. And slowly release down, release the arms, the legs. You come forward, rest the forehead, let the arms release out, the legs release. And stay a few breaths. We'll bring the arms in, inhale to come up. Come hands and knees for a few moments, just neutral back, and then we'll come up to the shins. From here, we'll take our bolster once more, and this time we'll bring it to the back of the calf. You might need extra blocks on your bolster if you're kind of working any tightness in the back, lower back, or maybe the arms feel a little bit short, but you can't quite reach the bolster. So similar shape that we just did in that bow pose, now into a camel pose. The top hamstring lifting, opening up through that front groin. You can imagine the front body on the floor. Bring the thumbs to the lower back, move the flesh of the upper buttock down. Roll the shoulder bones back, those outer elbows as if they're trying to move in closer together. If we're going to touch the inner elbows, lift up. We want this chest not to sink down. You know, you might feel this lift here, but still be a bit sunk in the chest. We want to lift, really lift and open the chest. Tailbone moving under, elongating the spine, getting the shoulder blades in, back ribs in, looking up. You can keep the hands on the hips if that's better for your back. Otherwise, we can see if we can extend and bring the hands to the bolster. Move the mid buttock in, tailbone under. Lift from the lower abdomen. Inhale to come up from the chest, and then we can come and sit on our bolster. Stay here a few breaths. Nice stretch again to the tops of the feet. Invigorates the spine and helps clear the head, the neck. You can repeat that if you'd like. And just take a few moments after to sit. Feel how the breath has changed within maybe the mind. You know, each action we do creates a different feeling in our body. So that will change the mind a little bit. maybe from being more out there to moving inward. Bring the focus to your breath. Feel and notice where the breath moves to on the inhalation and the exhalation.